everybody. Today we're taking an adventure 25 miles away from the nearest road, way out on the most remote part of the Adirondacks. It's just me, Reid, and Tyler out here staying in a lean-to and trying to catch some fish, chopping wood in the rain to keep a fire going. The weather was rough, but it made the trip even better. So here's how it all went down.
The place that we're in is actually really cool. It's the abandoned ruins of a old mining town that was out here in the Adirondack. So there's a bunch of signs so far on this like little paved road that we're on, talking about the community and how they made money and prospered here. And check this out. We got some ruins. Cool. Anyways, we're going to this lake, and actually to the right of us is the Hudson River. Same Hudson River that flows in all the way down to New York City, where I'm from. So pretty cool. We got the main man signing us in here.
That mountain water.
It is so fucking hot and humid. It's terrible. Whew. One thing you guys should know about me, and if you've been watching the channel for a while, you already probably know about me, is that I hate hiking in humid weather. Why do I do it to myself still? I don't know, but I'm doing it because I want to hike. So, oh, and did I mention that this trail is wet as fuck?
The so-called trail.
The river. Sorry, guys.
Oh, it's hot out, guys. It's real fucking hot out.
It is. Bro, if anybody's doing it, it's Reid. Guys. Oh, I made it. We made it as soon as the fucking rain started. Whew.
Yeah, baby.
It's raining.
We made it. A little bushwhacking, but we're here. Slipper for tonight.
Whew.
Dude, I'm soaked. I gotta try out.
All right, so we've been setting up our sleeping situations. The sleeping pads are up right now. We got everything unpacked, kind of our designated sites of where we're gonna be sleeping. We got it all sorted out. We also placed our tarp. Originally, it was gonna be for if someone used this lean-to, but the people that we actually saw sign in were the trail crew, so they monitored the whole trail for us, and we were able to get here smoothly. It was all just fresh, brand new, just cleaned up, so that was nice. But yeah, we got the tarp on the side right here. You guys might not be able to see it right now, but no, you definitely don't see it. But that's gonna kind of be our curtain in case it gets windy, so the wind doesn't get through to us. But yeah, I mean, doesn't get better than this. Got the rain falling, and we got a beautiful view of Henderson Lake.
Well,
so guys, we just hung out in the lean-to for a little bit. The rain finally stopped, and we are gonna head down to the lake, which is right in front of us conveniently, and we're gonna do some fishing, hopefully catch trout. All right, friends, we gathered all the wood we chopped, cut it in half. We're starting to build this log cabin for later in the night. Yeah, we're just gonna get some more wood because we cut down those 2 dead trees. We're gonna use up all that wood, keep our fire going tonight, be nice, toasty, and warm, and get ready to cook. It's exciting. Actually, Tyler just dropped the log off that tree. So yeah, let's get it moving.
Shit, I'm surprised. They don't see many lures.
So Tyler headed out to the river to go fishing. Reid and I are hoping he brings us back a big trout that we're gonna cook. But Reid and I were sitting here hanging out by the fire. It's around 6:30 right now. Sun will be setting in about an hour. So for now we're
looking forward to a beautiful night.
pretty much.
Wash my face off in the river.
Tyler's back.
Made it back safe. Nothing bad happened. Just no fish, sadly, but whatever.
Holy fucking hot, jeez. Gosh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, we're about to eat good. Right out there, guys. Can't see it, but there's a loon. You can hear it. We're looking at it. Right in the middle of the lake. It is such a beautiful, beautiful night. We got the loons howling, waterfall, fire crackling. By the way, dinner was delicious. We're all very pleased. But yeah, we're just waiting for the sun to set over the hills. Well, I guess mountains. But the sky is pink and it's beautiful.
Bro, it's fucking sick over there. You gotta see that shit.
Alright, friends. Well, the sun is now under the mountains and it's only going to get darker. We're sitting inside the lean-to right now. We're kind of just soaking in the campfire. It's been pretty. There's a big reason as to why we chose this spot for this trip. Last year, Tyler was actually out here with Reid, and they were climbing a fire tower on Mount Adams. They stumbled into something very strange. You can choose to believe, you can choose not to believe, but they definitely saw something that was not usual. And that's about half a mile away from here. This part of the woods is the most remote in all of New York. We're about 25 miles away from the closest road, closest town. It's a very remote part of the High Peaks Wilderness. And so, if anything crazy was to happen, it would be here. And so, I mean, I guess I've been, explaining my interpretation of their story, but I think you should hear it from them yourselves.
So guys, we're sitting in a pretty special place. So in October of last year, 2024, me and Reid had came out to the same area, about a mile down the road from here, and we had parked at the trailhead for Mount Adams. I don't know if you guys know this, but the road leading here is quite literally just dirt, potholes, rocks, everything you can think of is on that road. We arrived at the trailhead around like 2 or 3 o'clock, right?
Yeah, I think it was like 2 or 3 o'clock, closer to 3 probably. Definitely.
And when we arrived, there was 2 ladies that were in the parking lot, and we started talking to them. And they were telling us how they had hiked Mount Adams, they had done the fire tower, it was beautiful. And we were like, all right, yeah, let's start the trip off right. We'll get out, we'll get moving. So we start walking in. We get about probably like quarter mile in, and then we notice like this unusual smell. And I know Reid wants to touch on it real quick.
Yeah, it was just a weird musty smell that like didn't go away. It just lingered throughout the whole time we were there. And on the way to the top, I just kept mentioning it to Tyler and being like, what is that? Like, I've never smelled anything like it before.
At first, it kind of like, there were leaves on the ground, there was water, right? And it really, I thought, I brushed it off as like, all right, it's probably the leaves and the water, it's giving off, like, it was this kind of like a wet dog smell. That's like the most I can relate it to. But it was very powerful. And I kind of didn't think much of it, and I kind of brushed it off, but it was definitely there most of the hike. If not, I really noticed it in the beginning, but Reid had smelled it throughout the hike, and even later on when we were at the fire tower. But that's besides the point. So we keep walking, and within the first mile, you pass by this lake, and it's Lake Jimmy. And so we were taking pictures. It was a normal day. It was a beautiful afternoon. It was sunny, about probably 68 degrees, right? 70 degrees, somewhere around there. We get up to the top. We're at the fire tower. We took some pictures. We hung up out there for like probably half an hour, right? 45 minutes.
Yeah, we spent a good amount of time up there. It was nice. We started to come down and probably get down the first 5 steps and just hear a loud whoop. Yeah, at that time, I just completely didn't think anything of it because Tyler didn't hear it. And he told me he didn't hear it, so I just thought I'd imagined it, honestly. And then we keep going down the trail. We get down the steep parts. And as soon as we get to like a flatter section, we hear a loud whoop as soon as the sun sets.
It was probably at like, it was getting late. It was like 6:55, 7 o'clock. The sun had already set. And we made it down to this flat part, as Reid had said. We had gotten down past the cliffs. And at this point, we don't have our headlamps on, but it's a lot darker than this. You know, it's getting to the point where you might want to turn on your headlamp within like 5-10 minutes. And we heard this extremely weird, like, the best way we can describe it is like a whooping sound. And it, like, the first thing that came to my mind was like, it sounded like, I know this sounds crazy to some people, but it sounded like a monkey or something. Like, the closest thing I could relate it to was like something I've heard in a zoo. So as soon as we heard that loud whooping noise behind us, that sounded like just so much like this like ape-like creature. And it was not a little like hoot from an owl or something. I've heard barred owls, I've heard coyotes, I've heard, bears walking through the woods. I'm not afraid of very much in the woods. I've been hunting my whole life. And this thing really struck fear in me. And immediately, me and Reid turned our heads and locked eyes. And we just, like, started, like, we looked at each other and we were like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, what
like,
is that thing?
Reid's like, do you know what that was? And I was like, I have no clue. So we start walking and we're like, what? Like, we're still thinking what that was. As we're walking, we hear a second whoop. And this time it's, like, closer. We've already walked a few, like, probably 20 yards, right? We hear another whoop. And this time it's even closer than the first one. And mind you, the first one was only about, you know, like, probably, 40 yards away from us? It was...
Yeah, probably 40 yards.
It was just...
50.
Yeah, it was just out of the reach of our vision that we couldn't see where exactly it came from, but we knew, like, the general direction. And so at this point, we hear the second whoop, and we, like, just start sprinting down the trail. Because at this point, we're like, all right, this is not normal. Like, why is it going to be following us? Why is it calling out, like, making these weird noises at us? Whatever it is, it wasn't normal. And so we're just running down the trail. And Reid, you want to say what you were feeling in that moment?
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, the first sound we heard was completely absurd. I mean, I looked at Tyler. I've been outside basically all my life with my father. I've been hunting with my grandpa. I've been out in the woods with my father for years on end. I've never heard a single sound like that in my life. It put me straight into a fight or flight state, and immediately I knew that I had to run.
The scariest part was, as we were running, after that second whoop, like, we knew we were being chased. So we're sprinting down, and as we are running, continuously behind us, this thing is chasing after us, making these whooping noises directly behind us. And at this point, we have our headlamps turned on. We can only see 10, 15 feet away. Like, there's trees surrounding us. The only thing you can see is where your headlamp is pointing. And if you're looking directly into the trails on the sides, there's nothing to see in the woods. Except maybe 5, 10 feet in front of you.
Yeah, and the trail to Mount Adams is very, very dense.
Yeah.
A lot of it. It's right by a lake that you go around, and it's just bushes all around you. So most of the part you cannot see anything at all.
Imagine, just put yourself in our shoes, because this is the hard part to think about. You know, it can come off as like, oh, like, this sounds crazy, or like, how would this ever happen? But put yourself in our shoes and imagine how scary it would be. We're the only ones parked out at the trailhead. The other couple had left. We're coming down after sunset, and something is chasing after you. And at this point, you're in pitch black. You're in the middle of nowhere, and this thing was chasing after us. And at that moment, like, when we were running down the trail, I, like, was fearing for my life. I didn't know if we were gonna make it back out, or whatever this thing was, like, was easily following us, easily keeping up with us. We were sprinting down the trail. And another thing to add was, we could not hear whatever it was. It was able to keep up with us, and we would have no clue where it was. It wouldn't make any noise. It wouldn't break any branches. We didn't hear any footsteps behind us. And this thing was keeping at least like 20 yards distance between us the whole time, just letting us know where it was and that it's following us and that we need to leave. That's exactly how it felt.
Yeah, I remember there was one point where we hit a trail crossing and we didn't know where to go, so we stopped for a second, and I think we stopped probably 5 seconds after we heard a whoop, and probably about 50 yards away from us, and then about 2 seconds later, the next whoop is probably 10 feet away from us.
Yeah, so
not a single thing heard.
It varied, like, extremely. Some of the times it would be pretty far, like 20 yards, and then some of it was like 20, 30 feet away from us, you know, not very far at all. It could run in, you know, whatever it was could have gotten to us within seconds if it really wanted to. So at this point, we're just sprinting down the trail, and I'm telling Reid, I'm like, yo, what is that noise? Like, what the fuck was that? And at this point, I'm like, people are going to think we're crazy. So I'm like, Reid, I need to get a video of this. And you want to tell him what you were telling me?
Bro, I was telling him he's absolutely fucking crazy. You're really going to risk your life to try and get a video
Yeah, so
Oh my god.
at that point I was like, no, like we need to stop. Like I need to get somewhat of a recording of this. So I whipped out my phone, and as we're walking, I start recording, and I'm able to get at least 2 or 3 whooping sounds that you can distinctly hear it. Alright, so basically after we got the recordings, Reid was like, you know, he had already walked ahead of me. He was like, you know, fuck this. Like,
Yeah,
I'm getting out of here.
I was out. I was probably 50 yards ahead of him, like, just gone. He could barely see me at this point, probably.
And so I ran all the way up to Reid, and we kept running out. And on our way out, right before the end, like about, probably like half a mile from the trailhead,
Yeah.
we took the wrong turn, and we ended up going out onto this little opening. And we were basically looking at this lake, and it was like, yeah, we don't know what lake this is. Reid's phone had also died, and I did not have offline maps downloaded, so we had no clue where we were. So as we're standing there, we hear this thing behind us whooping off in the distance, and now we have to turn around and go back in the same direction where the calls are coming from. And at that point, it was like I was thinking to myself, I'm like, if I have to spend the night out here with this, like we're not gonna
make it.
Yeah, we're not gonna either sleep or whatever it is gonna come and like attack us or something like that. That's the exact feeling that was like going through both of our, you know, brains at that time. Was like, this thing like clearly doesn't want us here, whatever it was, whether it was a Bigfoot, you know, or a ghost or whatever, or even if it was a person. But the only thing that wouldn't make sense is if it was a person, how would they move through the woods with no headlamp, nothing, and not break any branches? You know, it's just it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, none of it just added up.
And
honestly.
we eventually ended up making it across the bridge over the Hudson River. We got in the car, slammed the doors, and we just booked it down the road. And we had no clue what we had just encountered. And so you guys are free to interpret it however you want. You know, personally, we don't even know what it was. We've got our thoughts, but we'll leave it up to you guys to, you know, put it in the comments what you think it might be.
Yeah.
What's up, everyone? It's 9:33 right now. It's getting late here. We're gonna be going to bed right now, or very soon. We're all pretty tired and schlumped, but we just got our tarp up right here because it says it's gonna rain and we don't know where it's gonna come from. So we got the tarp up just in case. But yeah, probably gonna head to bed. We're all a little bit sketched out, I'm not gonna even lie. But brush our teeth, and yeah, head to bed. That's the plan. So if anything crazy happens, I'll update you. But if not, then this might just be good night. Let's hope it is. I hope it is good night. Sorry, guys. Good night.
Good morning, everybody. It's 8:16 o'clock in the morning. I'm about to pack up and get out of here before the rain comes in. So, nothing crazy happened at night. Pretty chill. Just paranoia. I slept like Az. So did Tyler.
Yeah.
But Reid slept like a baby, so let's get the fuck up out of here.
The other one I have.
The lean-to service is here. and we're leaving. And we're off. Back to the car we go.
I'm saying it's like not bad for the camera.
All right, guys, I got my phone whipped out. It's been miserable this hike back.
Yep.
The Hudson River is Hudsoning,
I fell in the damn mud. I'm so.
but we're back to the campground. I mean, the car ground,
yeah.
the road. We're about to sign out. So miserable.